Motorweek, television's original automotive magazine. Your host for Motorweek, John Davis.
Well, hello and welcome again to Motorweek. We're glad to have you with us. This time we're going to conclude our look at what's new from Detroit's automakers for 1998. Our focus this week is on Chrysler, a company with some of the most innovative and eye-catching vehicles in automotive history. So the question is, will Chrysler rest on its laurels or continue to push the envelope in '98? Hard to imagine, but only a decade ago, the Chrysler Corporation was saddled with an extensive lineup of boring cars and antiquated trucks. Except for minivans and Jeep vehicles, Chrysler of the late 1980s looked like it was going to be forever left behind in the automotive dust of time. Yet today, just a little more than 2 years short of the next millennium, the Chrysler Corporation is arguably the most vibrant and forward-looking of American car companies. Indeed, Chrysler's styling and niche marketing is among the most contemporary the car world has to offer. The only thing old about Chrysler is their practice of letting the best classic car designs influence the shapes of their future. No other mass production car company has a pair of limited edition sports cars anything like the V10 Dodge Viper and the retro Roadster Plymouth Prowler. These cars obviously are designed to entice buyers into the showroom for their more mundane models. But there is nothing mundane about these cars, the new Chrysler Concorde and Dodge Intrepid sedans, a major revision of the LH car that started their car revival 5 years ago, and they're now more exciting than ever. Indeed, Concorde styling looks more like a Ferrari than family. The oval grille and much brighter raised eyebrow headlights are about as racy as you can get with 4 doors. While wheelbase is unchanged, the Concorde has a longer body shell than Intrepid, so Concorde is a full-size car by any standards. So is the interior. The Concorde's instrument panel now has a more 3D look with a center section for climate and stereo that seems to jump out to meet you. A larger, clearer instrument cluster remains, but the seats have been improved for support and comfort. A 3-across bench is available. The back seat of the Concorde grows almost 3 inches in legroom, while the generous Intrepid is slightly roomier than before. The Concorde provides a ski-style pass-through to a big trunk, while the Intrepid has split folding seatbacks. Powertrains are all new, with both engines sharing all-aluminum construction. Standard in Intrepid and Concorde LX is a fresh 2.7-liter dual overhead cam 24-valve V6 with 200 horsepower and 190 pound-feet of torque. Intrepid ES and Concorde LXI sport a single overhead cam 3.2-liter with 225 horsepower and 225 pound-feet of torque. While a rework of last year's cast-iron 3.5-liter, it really is almost an all-new engine with heightened performance to match. 0 to 60 in 8 seconds. Road manners are also improved with a stiffer body and new suspension calibrations, which also pay off in much quieter cars, a constant complaint of the original LH models. 2 more variants, a new luxury LHS and shorter European-bound Chrysler 300M, are due next year. If you are among the few wondering what happened to the Eagle Vision LH car, it's gone. The only Eagle left is the Mitsubishi-made Talon Sport Coupe. The Eagle brand itself will be phased out for good after this year. Now for the truck story. Here is the long-awaited Durango, the first Dodge SUV since the demise of the Ram Charger. But like Ram Charger, this is a rugged body-on-frame model with rear leaf springs. Only in this case, it's based on the middleweight Dakota pickup. That's pretty obvious from the shared front end with its raised Kenworth cowl and sporty lower chin. Inside has most of the Dakota's flavor too, with a well-functioning dash and no-nonsense air. But at this point, Dodge engineers got very clever. By lowering the rear body and gently raising the roof, the Durango can manage 3 rows of seat to accommodate a family of 8. The middle row is a tri-fold design for maximum versatility, and total cargo space is 10% larger than a Jeep Grand Cherokee. Power mirrors the Dakota too, with a 175 horsepower 3.9-liter V6. A 230 horsepower 5.2-liter V8 is expected to be the volume engine, and a 245 horsepower 5.9-liter V8 is borrowed from Big Brother Ram. The latter engine gives Durango a 7,200-pound trailer towing limit. Four-wheel drive Durangos can be ordered with the Dakota's part-time system or a full-time case similar to Jeep's Select-Track. With a minimum of 7.9 inches of ground clearance, there won't be many places the Durango can't climb, and they will likely climb out of Dodge showrooms fast. Now we understand why Jeep put the 5.9-liter V8 in the Grand Cherokee. Chrysler couldn't let its prestigious 4x4 be outrun by the rough and tough Durango. Indeed, the Grand Cherokee 5.9 Limited is built for speed. With a 0 to 60 of 7.3 seconds, it's the fastest SUV we've tested. Good, since it actually has a smaller towing capacity than Grand Cherokees with the 5.2-liter V8. Other Jeep news is limited to a new Cherokee Classic and Cherokee Limited trim grades. The Wrangler was redesigned last year. 1998 is not without full-size truck news from Dodge, too. The door wars have just escalated with the Dodge Ram Quad Cab. With both of the optional rear doors open, you have maximum access like no pickup truck before it. Like Chevrolet, the rear door release latches in the door jamb, and the front door must be open before the rear door swings out. Little is going on with the midsize sedan trio, Chrysler Cirrus LXi, Dodge Stratus, or Plymouth Breeze this year. Ditto for the Chrysler Sebring and Dodge Avenger coupes, and the Chrysler Sebring convertible as well. But the spunky Dodge and Plymouth Neon is getting a real boost in image. Dodge alone will sell the Neon RT Coupe. RT blends race-proven hardware from their championship factory SCCA Class C showroom stock racing program into a totally street-legal econosport. Under the Viper racing stripe is the familiar 150 horsepower twin-cam 16-valve 2-liter inline-4. Here the engine computer gives a bit more performance latitude. Suspension tuning is also track-ready, with only the tires being street-bred. The theme continues inside with a more serious flavor, but in the end, the Neon RT is a race-ready street fighter that's pure fun. But maybe not quite as much fun as the Dodge Viper RT10 Roadster. After being eclipsed by the coupe last year, the Roadster now adds the hardtop's 450 horsepower V10 and most other improvements, including beefier structure and real roll-up windows. The removable hardtop is now standard, and it's the correct winter substitute for the still minimal erector set soft top. As for the company's other collectible soft top, the Plymouth Prowler will stay its violet self until it gets a new aluminum V6 and added colors shortly after the new calendar year begins. Finally, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's pretty much the story for the Plymouth Voyager and Dodge Caravan minivans. The benchmarks of minivans get a few tweaks, like an uprated 180 horsepower 3.8-liter V6 and depowered airbags. The Chrysler Town & Country has a more glamorous front end with high-powered quad headlights to better differentiate its luxury missions. A company on a mission to set the automotive world on its ear is what Chrysler Corporation has been succeeding at for most of the 1990s. Now, as the decade and century aim for a close, their 1998 new car and truck designs rush forward, looking back only for inspiration.